See if anybody joins this.
Oh wow. Decent amount of people for it being 2 a.m. Oh wait, I'm on the East Coast though. How's everybody doing, man? How's life? Life's really good right now. I'm kind of at a point where I think I figured out like kind of like, you know, like why I'm doing all this, you know what I mean? And it's like really, really cool. I'm learning a lot about myself recently, and like really, I don't know, just really, really figuring out how this whole thing works and like why, like, I don't know, fucking hair, whatever, that's good. You look so tired. Honestly, yo, I'm not that tired, to be honest. I actually took a nap at like 7 for like 2 hours, so I'm actually like just woke up, and it's 2 a.m. and we have a flight at 7 or something like that. So going back to Cleveland, I'm about to see my family. So like your purpose, yeah, my purpose. And I always kind of knew like what direction it was going in, but as of recent, I kind of really like found out, because you know you have your reasons why you want to do stuff, and they may be like small instances or small things that like, you know, you feel like you really attach yourself to. But as of recent, I was just kind of thinking, like a couple of things happened, and I was like, wow, I'm like, I can't believe this shit, man. Like, I just know that like it's gonna be a fun journey. Like, obviously, like it's late as hell right now, so I'm like just spilling shit. But why is there more people than usual? I don't know, man. I don't know. Can we see your armpits, please? There you go. But I think part of the reason that I've been, I mean, you asked me how's life, and I said good. Like, I think the reason that everything's like so good right now is because I think that we've talked about this in interviews recently, but the band and like everything, I kind of thought about it for a second, and I'm a firm believer in like everything happens for a reason, and like all of the things in life that come your way, whether it's a struggle or victory, is meant to like push you in the right direction. You know what I mean? It's meant to kind of help you learn. Everything's a learning process for you to understand how this world works and like what's the direction that you need to go. So I always think about how it's funny how before boy band I was thinking about, I was just focused so much on myself, and I was like, I didn't care about my family, I didn't care about my friends. All I cared about was like, obviously I cared about them, but on like the sense of like, I was thinking about them more than me, you know what I mean? I was very like self-centered, and like just really wanted to get out of Cleveland and do music, and I wanted to be a rapper, I wanted to perform, and I literally would do anything to get to that point. So I was like, I kind of forgot, you know, what it was, you know, I don't know, like, I kind of like lost sight of that, but I mean, it's all for a reason. Like I said, I needed that to get me to where I am. I needed that to drive me. I needed to really focus on myself, because if I hadn't spent those years like really working, I wouldn't have like been here, you know. I would like, so I look back on that, and I'm like damn, like it really took it took a lot to get here, and a lot of the times that I thought were the most like tough, and the times where I questioned everything, and I was like, why is this happening? Like what's up? I realized each of those things, each of those negative moments, each of the struggles and the things that I thought were like the end of the world at the time literally changed my life in probably the best way possible. Like all these things, like getting fired, having a group of friends just kind of like shun you, and just like people who I really like cared about and like had genuine like feelings towards as like just people and stuff, like having them leave you and having them, it was all for a reason, and I look back, I look at my life now, and I look at all the things that are starting to happen, and I just realized, like, you know what, this is all, those people who left, it wasn't because I'm like, it wasn't just to be like, oh, like, here, like, this wasn't God's way of being like, yo, like, fuck you, like, your friends are gone, bye. It's like, for some reason, those people were not meant to be in my life at that moment, because they weren't going to help me to get to where I want to be. So, I mean, I just think about that all the time, and whenever something happens, or whenever somebody in my life is like leaves or is gone, is like, not in the sense of like they die, I mean, especially if they die, but if like I don't talk to someone, or like some friends like leave. A lot of people have come to me and been like, I get a lot of DMs saying like, oh, all my friends have left me, like blah blah blah. It's like, you don't want people in your life who are gonna leave you. You know what I mean? Like I'm fortunate enough to have met people. You have very very few select people who have been there for me the whole time, who I can trust and can confidently say like, oh, these people are going to be with me for the rest of my life, like regardless of anything. So, I guess I say all that, just like speaking on that as an example, but the overall thing is like, going back to the everything happens for a reason, and people say that all the time, but I feel like no one really takes the time to explain it, Like, no, everyone's like, oh, everything happens for a reason, would be fine, but a lot of people have to understand that not a lot of people are going to resonate with that. Like, if you're gonna say something like that, you have to back it up and give people a reason, because I know I have a lot of young people in this live right now, and I know I have a lot of people who are going through things and probably like mad confused about, their situation that they're in right now, or why they aren't where they are, or why they aren't where they want to be. And I just want you to know, like, just from my personal experience, I had to hit like rock bottom a couple times, and I had to go through some tough shit to get to where I am right now. And looking back, I'm super glad that everything didn't go my way, because if it had gone my way, I wouldn't have been ready. And a lot of the time, people get frustrated with themselves at their progress, with whatever it may be, and they're like, they stress out, and they're like, oh shit, like this isn't going my way, like this isn't happening soon enough, I need this right now. Like, for some reason, we always think that whatever goal we aspire to obtain, like, we need it like immediately. But I look at every goal that I set as, this will happen when I am ready for it, and I want to have earned like this achievement. And so I have so many goals, I have so many of like, selling out Madison Square Garden. I want to sell out this amphitheater in Virginia called Jiffy Lube. I want to have a #1 album. I want to do all this stuff. But I also know that those things will not happen until I'm ready to handle it, because coming with that lifestyle that those type of achievements bring, it's like I need to be mentally prepared, and I need to know how to handle it, or else I will lose myself, and I will lose sight of why I started doing this, and I'll lose sight in it. I could become like a shit person, So all the things, and especially even for IRL, where I'm like, last year we were all so frustrated, like, oh, like this isn't what we thought it would be, and we all wanted just like massive success right out the jump. It's like, we weren't ready for that, and it took us a year to realize that we weren't ready for that. And I'm so grateful that this year we're finally starting to like make some progress, like little by little, and like really figuring out who we are and what we want to represent as a band. Because like, to be honest, we were thrown together on a TV show, and we didn't know each other, and we spent a whole year getting to know each other and figuring out the music industry and all this stuff. Because coming from high school straight to there, it's like, it's a whole new world. So looking back on that and looking at how things are going now, it's just put things into perspective of like, man, I'm just so, I'm super grateful that things are the way they are. And I look at each struggle that I have in this like phase of my life, everything that seems like a problem to me right now, which honestly, I can't lie, since the last couple months, I haven't had a lot of problems. I've had small problems, but the other thing that I also understand is balance is a big thing in life, and if you don't have balance, you're gonna fall. So just let that sit for a second. And the thing with that is, for every great moment, you also have to have some dark moments to keep your head straight, to keep you from swaying, to keep you on the right direction. Because like, you have too many good moments, it's not good, sadly enough. I mean, I wish that we could all just like be happy all the time, but the truth is, like, every single person, no matter how successful, no matter what the fuck like you're going through, like, no matter how much money you have, no matter like what kind of lifestyle you live, everybody has the same feelings. We are all human beings at the end of the day. So it's like, you gotta realize that, and you gotta accept that within yourself. Because some people always think like whenever you have a bad moment, you're like, oh shit, like that my life sucks, or like my life, like, no, everyone has the same, like we all have the same like build, like frame, you know what I mean? And some people unfortunately, aren't gifted with like the same attributes as other people, but that's what makes us all different. That's what makes us compare ourselves to each other and figure out who we are as people. Because if we were all the same thing, like, it'd be fucked. Like, no one would be cool. If it's like people said in The Incredibles, it's like Syndrome said, he said it. Once everybody has superpowers, no one has superpowers. So, yeah, man, like, I'm just kind of venting to all y'all right now, like, and it's like, I don't know, man. Someone said I don't have a gift, but okay, this is actually good. This is a good segue. So, someone said, actually, Connie said, Michael's jawline, shout out to you. You said, I don't have a gift, but, and I know that you're probably joking in a sense, but I mean, there's some truth to it's like J. Cole said in Fire Squad, like with all the good jokes contain true shit. So, the thing about that, and this is for everybody in this live, I want to say to anyone who's like trying to find what their gift is, and like a lot of people don't ever find that out, and they end up being like just so frustrated with their life, but first and foremost, everybody has a gift. So get that straight, get that in your head. Like, everybody has something. A lot of it comes to the way you were raised. It comes down to figuring out how you can break out of that mold. And a lot of the times it takes you experiencing a lot of different things and learning from a lot of different people to see, to figure out what that is within yourself. And a lot of it's being comfortable with yourself. And I'm still not 100% comfortable with myself. You know what I mean? I don't think any of us are. I'm so young. I'm 19 years old, like doing music, and I have this like this following, and everything I post is analyzed by over 100,000 people. So obviously, in some sense, like I get nervous, and I don't want to put myself out there, and I feel like I'm exposing myself too much. But it's that feeling that's going to resonate with the most people possible. And whether you want to be a doctor, whether you want to do something, everybody has the things that they're drawn to. Examples of gifts. Being great at singing, sports, dancing, in a sense, but like, it's not necessarily being good at something. A gift is not being good at something, because not everybody's good at something to start with. I wasn't always good at music. I wasn't always a good violin player. But it was my gift was my desire to explore those things and to be, I'm trying to figure out the right words, but my gift are the things that I want to do. The good. So I was talking to a friend a couple days ago, and he's one of my really close friends, and I've known forever. And he was telling me, he was like, yo, I feel like I'm going through different phases in my life, and one day I really want to do this, but I can never put myself to do it, or I want to do this, but it's not gonna be my lifelong thing. And this kid is my age. He's 19 years old, and he's trying to figure out what is he supposed to do? He's gotten to this point, and he thinks that because he is his age, he should have it figured out. And I was talking to him. I was like, look, man, how I was raised, and a lot of times, like, how I was raised, let me just start like this. My parents were very good with allowing me to explore all of my creative endeavors. And being creative is a very important thing with anybody, regardless of if you do music or not. Creativity does not have to be painting. It does not have to be it can be anything. Because creativity is what makes us us. When you're able to imagine something and create something from your own brain to put it out there or whatever. And even if you don't put it out there, it's also cool. But my parents were very good I was really into drawing at one point, so they got me a book, and I could just draw for hours, and I would draw cars, and I would draw all these things until I was sick of it. And then I was into skateboarding, and they helped me when Christmas came around, or they would give me certain things that could help me build my board, and I was watching all these videos, and I was doing all this stuff, and going to skate parks and figuring it out. And I was into basketball, so that was my thing, and they were very supportive of all those things. And the thing that I think the reason that I figured it out at such a young age is because I was able to explore all those things. And my friend told me, he was like, what he had said was, hey, I feel like I want to do a million different things right now, but I can't. I need to choose one. But it's yo, everybody watching this, it's you have to find out, you have to explore everything you want to do. Every single thing, whether you want to, it can be the most insignificant thing. You may want to fucking skip rocks. You may be really into skipping rocks for whatever reason. In your head, you're I want to skip rocks right now. Go fucking do that shit, because you'll never know until you do it. And obviously you can't make right now you can't make a career out of skipping rocks. Who knows, maybe one day. But bro, it's those little things, those little creative outlets that allow you to just free yourself up and be vulnerable with yourself and do the things that really make you happy. Because a lot of times we fall victim to the perception that the stuff that we want to do, other people aren't gonna think is cool. The things that I can't tell you how many times when I played violin, I thought that nobody I would hide it from everybody, because I was yo, these people no one cares about that. That shit's not cool. Like, no one wants me to play violin. And I realized by putting myself out there, and when I was on boy band, that was the thing that set me apart from everybody, and that was the thing that people were drawn to, and that's the thing that people were like, yo, that's fucking sick. And so I kind of looked at that, and I looked at a bunch of other things in my life as like, yo, like, we truly should be, as people, like, explore just as many things as possible. And regardless of how insignificant it seems, like, if it brings you that happiness, that's what's worth it. You know what I mean? That makes it worth it. So, and I know I'm saying this now because I know that a lot of you may not have parents who necessarily understand that, and you may not have parents who are willing to, you know, put the energy in it. But I'm telling you right now, as, you know, I want to be a role model to you guys. I want to let you guys know that I just want to give you guys this information because I think it's very, very valuable. And, like, whether or not you have parents supporting what you do or not, there's always things you can do. Like, no matter what. Like, I always found a way. What's funny is that they supported almost every single thing that I wanted to do for my whole life. But when it came to rapping, when it came to music, all of a sudden they were like, oh shit, like, what do we do now? Like, this kid wants to rap, like, what is that? Like, all I know is, this is my mom and dad talking in my head. It's like, all I know is, like, Bruce Springsteen and, like, Michael Bublé and, like I don't know that world. It just looks like, and like all this bad stuff and people cursing, but, like, they didn't understand it, so they weren't as into me pursuing that thing. But it took a lot for me to figure out what, like, you know what I'm saying? So it took me all those things to finally be sure of what I wanted to do eventually. And I've said this a million times, but yo, if you are older than me or younger than me, like, you do not have to have it figured out. Like, trust me, I'm saying this because, like, I feel like I would be doing everybody a disservice if I wasn't going on live right now and I wasn't, like, talking about this shit, because, like, the fact that I've kind of figured out just how this whole thing works, and, like, I've gathered all this information just through my experiences. It's like I feel like it's my duty to, like, just tell you guys, just because I know that a lot of you guys are probably struggling with school and all this stuff and these short-term responsibilities. Sorry, I got distracted with a comment. But our parents want us to figure everything out. Here's the thing about parents that a lot of people have to understand, and a lot of people, like, some people are less fortunate than others when it comes to parents. And regardless of any situation that you are in, you have to accept that situation because you were meant to fight that battle. So, like, whether you come from an abusive household, whether you come from this, like, take all of these things as lessons. All of these things are meant to push you in the right direction. So if you see something and you're like, in your head that's wrong, that's a sign for you to go the other way. That's a sign for you to attach yourself to a separate, and once you do that, you gain values within yourself. You gain your morals, and a lot of people ask, like, what do you stand for? Like, you find out what you stand for. You find out why you're doing what you do. So, like, what were we talking? We were talking about supportive parents. Just kind of, like, at the end of the day, you can always find time, as little as it may be, and it may take you until you get to college to figure that out. But in the meantime, you know, one of the things that helped me a lot was YouTube and, like, the internet, and I used that as a tool. Like, maybe I couldn't necessarily do all the things that I wanted to do, but I could watch other people do it, and I could learn how they did it, and, like, you know, why, like, what was their reasoning and stuff. So like I used YouTube a lot as like just like random things, and it's like when you're on YouTube, you don't have you don't have anyone like watching you watch like videos. You know what I mean? It's like movies. Like we all have those movies that we would be embarrassed and we wouldn't watch in front of our friends. If we were going on a movie night, we would be like, "Yo, let's watch blank," you know. So it's like those little things, whether it's videos or whether it's like art or drawing. Like we may draw the stupidest things in the whole world, but like as long as you have fun doing it, that's all that really matters. And let me think. I also want to tie this back into why I write every day, because I believe that this goes hand in hand. And one of the things that I've been doing, as all of you guys know, is writing every day freehand. And what freehand means is it's literally one full stream of consciousness, 3 pages in my book every single morning before I look at my phone, before I do anything else. I wake up and I spill my exact thoughts, whatever it may be. And what that does, because you may think like, oh, like it's just like an exercise, and people may think, oh, like blah, blah, blah. But think whatever you want to think. But understand this, by doing that, that is the only time throughout the day, besides in my head, that I can put something out wherever it may be, where is my pure, like most inner thoughts. And by doing that, I'm able to get that shit out and really understand how my brain works. And through doing that, I can I can just understand the way I think like way better. And when I am faced with a tough decision, I know how to handle it better. You know what I mean? And someone said you're practicing your talents. It's not like I'm practicing my talents. You can, whether or not you want to write or anything to do with writing, I would 100% suggest this. No matter what you want to do, you don't have to do anything related to music or like you don't have to do anything. But by me writing, it frees up that feeling of that pressure of trying to appeal to anybody. Because right now, like no one's read my journal. No one knows what I write. No one really ever will, because it's only for me. So having that mindset and allowing yourself to do it, because it takes a little bit. In the first couple of days, I was writing, and I was even part of it is like I was trying to be grammatically correct, and I was trying to say the right thing and make every sentence cohesive. But that's not what I was thinking. I was like 2 steps ahead of everything I did. So now I literally write like any word that comes to my head, any sentence, any phrase, like as soon as it pops up. And you look at it afterwards and you're like, wow, okay, like I got my thoughts out like for the morning, and it all ties back in to like freeing yourself up. And if that makes any sense to you guys. But if you guys have any questions, let me know, because it's at 16%. How you make words right when you wake up, because I can't relate. I'll subtract. Does that make sense? Makes you feel free, but it also it's steps into figuring out who you are. You know what I mean? And I think that every person who's in this live, like your biggest goal is to figure out like, what you want to do with your life. And it really just comes down to you can't do what you want to do in your life if you don't know who you are. So that's basically the moral of this whole thing. It's like you got to know who you are to know what you want to do. What's your deal? What's your favorite coping skill when you're sad, or how you deal with anxiety and stress? A lot of I sort of what I was talking about earlier, how life is a balance. How you can't have a good day without a bad day. Because think about it, if you have a million good days, then every day is the same. There is no such thing as a good day. If you have 2 good days, you have a bad day, that bad day, you're going to appreciate the good days, and it's going to make a day actually good. Now, that's a lot of good and bads in there, but if you understand what I'm saying. So anytime something pops up, no matter what it is, I do my best to attack it head on. So if there's somebody who is who I'm not working with for whatever reason during this instance, who we aren't understanding each other, and that's happened a lot with the band. Being with 4 other people who have their own opinions and their own thoughts. Sometimes you need to understand each other. You need to get through these conversations, and you may feel some type of way about somebody. You may feel like they don't get it. Why aren't they not getting it? And you get frustrated. But the best way to do that is to face it head on and just be sit down with the person and be like, look, man, this is how I feel, and then they'll tell you how they feel. And then you're like, oh, I didn't know how you felt. That makes sense why you'd think like that. How I think of it is this way. And then they're like, oh. And it may cause a lot of back and forth, but that's just dealing with people now. There may be certain things going on in your life that may bring you down just a lot. And the most important thing with all of it is to think about, like I said, with everything happening for a reason. It's like, why did this happen? That's the question you gotta ask yourself. It's why is this a thing? And don't ask it out of self-pity. Ask it out of just genuine curiosity of, there's something in my life where whatever I'm losing right now, whatever is bringing me down, is not good for me right now. You know what I mean? So when you have problems are my biggest. When I have a problem, I think that's the biggest sign to get me through whatever I'm going through, and to get me to that next level. Because once I can conquer a problem, then I'm further along, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna see if I can phrase that in a better way. Just having issues is what makes us humans. And when we have these thoughts and a lot of it is ego. And a lot of people view ego as a bad thing. They're like, oh, he's so egotistical. He has a big ego, his ego's getting away. Really what an ego is us telling ourselves that we're not satisfied with something, whatever it may be. And when something bad happens, you're like, oh, this is not right. And a lot of people will look at that and be like, oh, you're being cocky or arrogant, or you're not being appreciative. But in reality, an ego is what fuels you to be better and push yourself. And when you find yourself in situations that you feel like you're uncomfortable or what it is, you have to ask yourself why. And you have to fuck, man, it's getting late. I don't know, man. I'm losing my train of thought for a second, but basically, whenever you're going through some shit, just look at it as a lesson. That's how I look at it. So, failures are your biggest. Failures make my fuck, man. I can't fucking talk. My failures are the reason that I am where I am. The things that have not gone right in my life are the reason that I am so happy and I can understand what I'm doing. So, yeah. Sadness, things you're sad about. In my life, sadness, things you're sad about. about, things you're anxious about. You may be fucking depressed sometimes. Like, those moments are going to make your victory, once you get to that point, so much more rewarding. So yeah, that's really a lot of it. And trust me, y'all, like, I've gone through it, but I went through it a lot earlier than a lot of people do. And instead of letting life keep punching me in the face and not being able to, feeling like, oh, like I can't get up, like I'm just gonna let it like beat me while I'm down. It's like taking the steps to get up and keep trying and finding different ways to, just pursue. And sometimes shit gets really hard, man. It really does. But a lot of you in this live are probably in high school and middle school and in college, so all these small things that feel like the end of the world, you just have to, you gotta take it with a grain of salt on one hand, but also understand that you are where you are for a reason. And I truly believe that when we are ready to handle certain situations, those opportunities will present themselves. So, like I said before, with me, like all my aspirations as an artist, it's like, I know that I'm not gonna get those things tomorrow because I'm not ready for that shit right now. Obviously I'm figuring it out and I'm making major progress, but like I need to be able to handle that when it's ready. And like I'm gonna receive those things once I figure out myself. So yeah, man, if anyone needed that, I just want y'all to like be there with me, because I feel like we're kind of going through this thing together, and I feel like if I can help, my biggest thing, man, is like if I can help anybody like through something or get them to a point in their life where they feel like they're happy and they feel like they're finally on the right path, it's like that means like everything to me. And a lot of people come up to me at these meet and greets and just told me like how much like my words meant to them, and like that shit is just the biggest reward ever. And the fact that I can do that through music is the sickest thing ever. So I wanna thank anybody who's been a fan of me and like really listens to like the stuff that I say, because I know, a lot of people could probably like pop in and out of here and be like, oh shit, like this dude's just like fucking talking about like his like fucking life shit or whatever. But like in all seriousness, man, like this shit's not a joke, man. Like I feel like you guys, I feel like you guys all have something. I feel like everyone in this life has something in them, and I feel like it's my job just the fact that I have this platform and all of you guys tuning in, it's my job to like lead you guys in the right direction, and you use my influence for some good, because there's so much like bad shit. Just like there's so many people who are just fucking assholes, man. Like people, like we look up to people who are just like, they're just not like dope people, man. Like half of these artists and half of these, like, I shouldn't say half, that's a big chunk. Some of these people, like even some of the biggest stars, man, like fucking dicks. And they don't care about people. They very self-centered, and they don't understand like the significance of what they have. But I mean, yeah, it's I feel like there's a lot of times with me where I feel like I have to hide myself, or I have to like dumb it down and not truly say how I feel, but in reality that's the shit that connects with people the most. So, and I didn't do that forever. So, and obviously I'm boy band, like I sort of like got into it, but also I didn't really know who I was. Still figuring it out. So now that we're at this point, I think I'm really glad to have made it this far and have continued to grow. That's the biggest thing. It's like growth. Like, so, I mean, thank you all. Can't wait to do a fucking TED Talk one day. I'm gonna kill that shit, like, dead ass. Like, I don't care. I'm gonna have like 10 million views on that shit. Whenever that happens, that's gonna be like that's probably gonna be one of the biggest like achievements in my career. Like, being able to do that, because I know that when I do a TED Talk, I'll be at a point where I've achieved a lot of the things that I set out to achieve. So, yeah. Yeah, man. I love you guys, man. I truly care about each and every one of you. And if you guys see me, if you guys like ever get the chance to meet me, especially if you see me in public, like, obviously there's some, like, there's a time and place for everything, but like yo, if you ever see me and seriously, like, come up to me and say whatever the fuck you want to say to me. Don't be a fucking asshole, because I will call you out and you will look stupid. But like, it really means the world when y'all come up to me and you like tell me those things. That's the shit that keeps me going. I need that fuel, because if I'm not affecting anybody, I'm not doing anything. You know what I mean? So when you guys come up to me, you tell me your stories and you tell me like why this means to you, why this means to you. Like, that tells me the stuff that resonates with people. So it gives me a lot of. It just gives me that. It gives me that confirmation, that affirmation that I need to keep going and keep doing what I do. So anyone who I'm gonna see, I know we're going back to my hometown tomorrow. So anyone comes up to me like yo, like I fucking love you guys, and like I care about each and every one of you, and I don't even know half of you, so I don't even know like most of you, to be honest. But I know that being a kid is like it's a very important stage in life, like growing up. So, and you know, sometimes I may be tired, but I'm also human. So, like, I'll always do my best to go and talk with you guys after the shows, because, you know, one day I won't be able to, and that's just the truth. One day I'm not going to be able to like go places without like security, and I won't have the freedom that I do now of being able to have like 20-minute conversations, like hour-long conversations with some of you guys after the shows. Like, one day I won't be able to go outside after the shows. So I want to use this time now to like really like try to make as much of an impact as I can. So yeah, man. Moral of the story: figure yourself out and love yourself, most importantly, because it gets hard to love yourself sometimes. Just like, I don't know, like, us as individuals, we always see our flaws. We see everything wrong with us. And so, like, just always remember that your flaws and the stuff that you may see as bad is, like, that's the shit that separates you, and that's the shit that is gonna line you up for your particular path. So, yeah, and that's a whole nother conversation that we'll have another time, because it is 7%. I mean, I'm gonna use this last percentage to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. So I saw you got stressed and didn't want to tell you what I wanted to say. And you know what? That's okay. Because, I mean, even, like, you just telling me that now, like, that lets me know that obviously something I've said, like, is resonating. So, ever tried meditation? Did it help? Was it successful? My meditation is with my writing. That's what it is for me. It's like, that kind of makes me Because meditation, you're basically trying to like just like relax for a second and just be free. You don't care about anything else besides that moment. And that's what the writing does for me. Take a look at my beats. Tag me in some, bro. Beat you in the back because of fire. Do you have a journal? Yeah, I got a couple. Y'all are fire, man. How do you handle your insecurities without interfering with your goals? Without interfering with your goals. You let people know about them. That's what I did. Put it in a little song, in a video, and I put it out there on the internet. I told people how I felt, and everyone who watched that video had nothing but nice things to say about it, and it really resonated with them, so. Love your skill, you're mad talented, buddy. Thank you. You're supposed to post about your video on Cameo. Fuck Cameo. Yo, that dude is still DMing me. Like, if you're watching this, like, deadass suck a dick. Like, you're the fucking worst. Like, your fucking app is the fucking fuck you. I can't. Dude, like, it blows my mind. Like, how people, like, cause, like, there's two sides of it. Like, I was talking with Drew about this earlier. It's like, I have respect for people who work in the industry and like view this as a business, but I will never respect you unless they're artists and creative people who have an audience and who like truly change people's lives, giving you that cosign. So I don't care what the fuck label you're head of, like if I can't go to like Justin Bieber or like, I don't know, man, like Ariana Grande. If I can't ask Ariana Grande and be like, yo, is this guy sick? And I can't get her to say something nice about him, then I don't give a shit about you, bro. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's not about like, and like I know, like I see so many artists doing Cameo, and it's like, bro, what are you doing? And it sucks because like a lot of them don't know, they don't understand. Like a lot of it is like they just want to get some money. They want to get, and I understand that like money's important, but like, dude, there's so many ways you make money. Like, bro, like you're a musician, make a fucking good song and you'll make money. Dude, like it blows, like, bro, like please stop fucking using Cameo. That fucking app is so fucking stupid. And like any of those apps, dude, like TikTok users. I mean, I don't even know that much about TikTok, but bro, dude, it's so whack. Like I guarantee no one who does Cameo will ever get on, I shouldn't say ever, no one who does Cameo is gonna get on a fucking live stream today and do this. This is a waste of time to them. What I'm doing right now, to them, is a waste of time. They're like, I don't have time for that shit. Like, that shit's not worth it. I'm not getting money. I'm not getting this. It's like, bro, that's not the shit that matters. Like, bro. Fuck Cameo. And like maybe I'll have to respond to that guy and be like, yo, go check my story or something. But like, what's funny is he DMs me. He doesn't even like go through the trouble of like looking at my shit. Like, whatever, bro. Expose other apps. I don't really know. I'll expose as much as I need to expose. Go to Kango's Instagram, say fuck you from Michael BMOC. Yo, deadass? Nah, I probably shouldn't do that. That's probably too far. I mean, is it? What percentage is right now? So, I think I'm going to end this right now. Like I said before, I love you guys, and anytime that you guys want, you know, whatever you guys need from me, whatever you want, as far as advice, like I'm always here to give it. like, if we have the time, like, I'm always here. So if you see me, you want to ask me something, please do. I'll try to give you as brief of an answer as I can, if I need to. But yeah, man, like, I'm here for y'all, and I'm gonna do my best to keep putting myself out there and keep talking about these things, just to get you guys just to give you guys something to go to, because I'm not always gonna be on these live streams. So if I have a post, or if I can post more about certain things, like, I want to put out things that you guys can go to kind of like gain that motivation when I'm not online, and eventually that's gonna be music, but for the moment it's just my social media. So yeah. Alright, guys. Peace. I love you all. Everyone be safe. Follow your fucking dreams. And yeah, man, I'll see y'all in Cleveland tomorrow if you're there. Alright, bye. Love you guys. Have a good night.